Okay, let's take another step. Let's take out useful symptoms. Because if the body is perfect, if the body knows exactly what to do whenever it wants to do it, then there must be a purpose behind symptoms. And first, let's take a look at some very common symptoms. What could be the use of a bleeding wound? When you get a cut or a dog has bitten you, what is the use for the bleeding? The bleeding actually cleans out the bacteria and the external dirt from the wound, so it flushes it clean. And that's amazingly what happens when you look at a cut or when you look at the cut of a skin. First, it takes out all the outside influences, outside bacteria, viruses, dirt. It flushes it out of the system. As soon as it's done with that, there's a small layer on top of it. So the bleeding stops, but it's a very small layer. So it's sealed off from the outside. And when it's sealed off, no new dirt can come in, and the body can start repairing the skin beneath. And it first does that by creating a thicker scab, a thicker layer of protection from outside influences, from dirt, etc., etc. The second thing that happens is the new skin starts forming. And at first it's really fragile, and it starts becoming thicker and thicker. And when it's completely healed, when the skin is closed again, the scab disappears. And when you notice that a wound, at first, the skin is a little bit thicker and rougher and not as elastic, not as smooth as before. It's still a little bit rough and hard. That's the way of the body saying, hey, I got a cut over there, so I must be able to protect it better because apparently there's some danger that comes in there. So let's make the skin thicker than normally, so it's protected against the same attack. And only after a couple of months, the skin is completely healed and completely the same thickness as the rest of the skin. Because then the body realizes, okay, there's no more new attack coming, so let's bring it back to normal. And that is how you can decompose any cut in very specific phases, and how every phase or how every symptom in the healing of the cut has a very specific reason. What is the use of pain when breaking a bone? There's actually a couple of reasons. One of the most important reasons is that you stay still. The bone is broken. It needs to take some time to grow together again. And if you move around, there's no time for the bone to repair. Look at it as if gluing something together. What do you do when you put the glue on both sides? You leave it alone. Because if you put the glue on there and you start moving both objects that you want to glue together and you keep moving them around, the glue will not stick, or it will adhere and it will be offset or something else. So one of the most reasons of pain when breaking a bone is that you keep stuck, that you don't move. The other reason of the pain when breaking a bone is that during the repair cycles of a broken bone, there's some liquid inside between the layers of the bone and the outside layers of the bone. We'll get into them more in depth, but just remember there's some liquid just around the bones to protect it and make sure that it does not glue together to the flexible structures on the outside, the periost, the outside layer of the skin layer of the bone, let's put it that way. And because that's very sensitive, and it's a little bit swollen, that's the other thing that hurts. But again, it's to make sure that the bone is healed and repaired in the best way possible, that it's glued together on the right pieces, and at the same time not glued together to the wrong pieces. That's just the pain of breaking a bone. And my favorite, what's the use of fever? When you get a fever, it is because your body recognizes there are some invaders, some bacteria, and it needs to produce antigens to protect, to fight off the intruders. And increasing the body temperature actually increases the productivity of your immune system in creating those antibodies. So look at it as a factory. The factory needs to produce antibodies because your body needs them. And apparently there's some outside invaders. Your body needs those antibodies. What does the staff of the factory do? They increase the heat on the employees to increase the production to make sure that the body stays safe. And that's what fever is. It increases the heat of your entire system so that your system is more able to produce those antibodies to fight off those intruders. And at the same time, increasing the temperature, increasing the inside core temperature a little bit, reduces the activity of the virus and bacteria. They cannot work in higher temperature. So the body is amazing in dealing with those things. Dealing with those invaders. There's an invader coming, the body increases the temperature so the invaders cannot do their job properly, and at the same time the body's own defense mechanisms are producing antibodies to fight them off, and they're working even better. Isn't it amazing that fever just does all those things? I find it amazing. I would want to have fever when I need it. Yet, even though a lot of people know this on a conscious level, when they get a fever, they still grab for fever reduction medication. Think of that. There's some intruder in the system. The body wants to increase the fever to stop the intruder from doing his job, and at the same time increase antibodies to fight off those intruders. Now a person does not like the symptom of fever because they need to go to work, they need to take care of the children, they need to do something. They take medication which lower the temperature, which reduces the symptoms of fever. Hence, the bacteria or intruders can do their harmful job in this case, can do their job, make you even more sick, and at the same time your own body's immune system is not producing the way it should be producing. That's what happens in most cases. So I don't like fever. I definitely don't like fever. But I love the ability to have it when I need it. So my challenge for you is for every symptom, think, why do I want this? Assume that the body is completely perfect, knows exactly what to do in every situation, even if you don't know, even if scientists don't know. But imagine that and think, why do I want pain when I break my bone? Why do I want fever when I have bacteria? Why do I want X? And fill in any symptom that you have with X. Just a mental challenge. And you can discuss this in the box below. So for every challenge, for every symptom, think, why do I want this when the body is completely perfect? What does the body want to do with me?
We have more free content for you. Just subscribe to our platform and get additional resources and related videos. Just go to free.biocompass.org and sign up there.